Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. I'm James J. and Coleco!
Yo!
Get, get the squash!
Squash!
Of course, Coleco Yachts, and this is Wrestling with Entertainment. How are you this fine Saturday evening, Coleco Yachts?
Doing pretty good. Been doing some other wrestling watching, did some Dragon Gate, did some G1, did some WWE, just dibbling and dabbling.
Yeah, the sample of professional wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Try not to drown in this pool of wrestling we got. Cause it's coming. August is coming and this is like wrestling Armageddon.
Yeah, and then you got October as well.
Yep. And then October comes and it's gonna be really, really interesting.
Yeah. And last week we covered. The show was incredibly long. It was a 2 hour show, a little over 2 hours. But if you think about it, we covered 8 shows. We covered
Yes.
five nights of the G1, Evolution, no, Evolve, my bad. Evolve
Yep.
Pro Wrestling,
Yep.
Fight for the Fallen, and Extreme Rules. So, like, we gave a lot of content.
Yeah, that was like the buffet platter of wrestling, if you will. If you if you like the AEW part, you can get to the AEW part. If you like the WWE part, get the WWE part. The New Japan part probably going to take up the most of it because New Japan is that one thing that I can say me and you are invested in at this point. So it's a marathon on that one, and especially like considering how this bracket is going, the total opposite of what we both thought. So,
yeah, I was gonna get into it later, but we were just garbage at picking this G1.
yes, this was my worst. This is the most garbage picks ever, yo. Like I did not see Kenta. I did not think Kenta was gonna have it like that. Like, god damn.
Yeah, and Kota with his fucking ankle.
But the one thing I remember saying, like the Kenta Tanahashi match was going to be the tell all for me if they were gonna really be serious.
Yeah,
So
and we'll get into some other Kenta stuff that I really want to talk about a little later on. The other interesting thing that happened last week was Mitch finally decided to join us. Almost got us sued by Walt Disney, and then got his cup of coffee and left once again.
that's what happens, man. It's the Stone Cold shirt, arrive, raise hell, and leave.
That is a perfect example, Kaliko.
So hey, shout out to Mitch. He's a cool cat, funny cat. I like him.
Yeah, well, if we didn't like him, he wouldn't be on the show.
Of course.
Yeah. Alright, so let's get into it. We are wrestling with the G1 Climax. We are covering the 19th. I don't remember what day that was, but the night. That's night. I don't fucking know. 5.
Yeah, I think we did 5. I think we were 5. I can't remember. I totally forgot.
Okay, hold on.
Lost track of that.
Yeah.
But we knew that it was going to be Actually, we did do night 5, so it should have been night
Night
6,
6. All right.
which night 6, which is the telltale sign for me that like they're putting Mox in like this unbelievable space, if
Okay,
you will.
rewind. Alright, we are covering night 6 of the G1, which took place on July 19th. The first match out of the block was Shingo Takagi defeated Taichi in 14 minutes and 40 seconds with Last of the Dragon. There we go.
Now, it's crazy that Taichi is like he's the guy that we thought he would be in this block, but he's still got to win over Naito, which
And
is mind-boggling.
no,
Mind-boggling.
the thing that I find hilarious, Naito lost to Yano and Taichi. Shingo Takagi defeated Yano and Taichi. So when they have their match later on in the tournament, Shingo is already greater than Naito because he beat the two guys he couldn't beat.
Naito. And right now, like we were saying, man, it to me, I felt like he had 2 buys and he let those buys. But you know what? It makes the story intriguing because now they know that he has a tough sledding, and he's got to haul ass just to catch up. Because right now, leader of that pack is like at this point in the tournament, it's looking like Juice and Mox for the block. I swear. I know he's in the lead, but I feel like Juice and Mox at this point could be for the block because Juice is not that far behind. He's only 2 points behind.
That is true.
He's only suffered 1 loss. So in retrospect, let's say it gets to the final night and the schedule plays out and they all go chalk. Juice versus Moxley could be for the B block.
That's an interesting point, and that would be a huge deal, considering that two guys like Jay White and Naito were in the G1, and like Juice has been there for quite a while now, and this is Moxley's first G1. For Moxley to win his block, possibly win the whole G1, that's a huge deal.
Yeah, that's a big ass deal. That's a fucking huge deal. And that just tells you that they looked at his outreach as a wrestler greater than Kenny Omega.
Because it is.
Kenny, and yeah, by default it is. I mean, he's got that. He still somehow he parlayed it and was able to get out of WWE without that contract clause. He didn't have to deal with the whole 90 days of obscurity and then trying to make it back. It was like as soon as the clock struck midnight, he was already running. It felt like he already knew where he was going to go. And I saw reports that like he was talking with New Japan in February. Like,
wow, I didn't hear that.
Like this was stuff where it was like he was already like lining up what the hell he was gonna do before he even left. So
he had a plan. He had a legitimate strategy.
He had a legit strategy because you got to think about it. All those videos and all the videos that came out like right after. It's not like you could just do that in a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it had been planned, like from the Death Rider, the Death Rider Juice video to him breaking the wall and getting, all that. It had to be planned. But he took full advantage of it too, and that's something that's very, very rare, especially with like the wrestlers. But then again, it's very rare to lose a top guy like Mox in his prime. So,
and WWE legitimately thought that they had Mox for that when he was done, he would come back. I don't think in McMahon's wildest dreams he thought he was going to go to New Japan slash AEW, and if he did, he would have never let that happen if he knew, you know. But while Moxley, he kept, we've talked about this before. Moxley kept his head down, didn't complain, waited for his release, and it was not like some of these guys complain about their spot. Moxley didn't. He waited his time out, and he got his out.
Yeah, but I think his was different than the others because his was an option of not re-signing Vice like a gold dust. He was still under contract, so he had leverage just in the simple fact of I'm not going to resign, and it put WWE in a position to try to offer him rather than the other way around.
Yeah. Watanabe Shingo Takagi with 4 points, 2 wins, 1 loss, and Taichi with 1 win and 2 losses, and he's at 2 points. Next match
but
on the
that
card,
one's big.
Juice Robinson lost to Jeff Cobb in 13 minutes and 21 seconds with a 12 islands. Juice stays at 4 points with 1 loss, and Cobb goes to 2 points with 2 losses. This was kind of like a what the fuck moment for me, because I didn't honestly see Cobb winning this match, especially with the Juice Robinson we've been seeing as of late.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I was thinking, because I was thinking the same thing, because Cobb was in that ever since the best in the world loss, it just that stock went down. and you have to give him something to make it look formidable. To me, it doesn't make sense, but it kind of makes sense, I guess. I try to make sense of this unsensible, and it puts Juice in that position where he's even more hungrier, right? Because he's looking. At first, he was running side by side with Mox, so now he's behind. So now he's looking up at Mox in the standings, so he knows he's going to have to fight harder. That's just to me from what I see.
I suppose you're right, and I think like we've just talked about it. People are a little bit maybe overlooking Juice Robinson because you have a John Moxley, a Tetsuya Naito, a Jay White in this, and even an Ishii at this point. When you have guys like that in this tournament, it's easy to overlook a Juice Robinson.
He could still win the block, but he's still what he got. He's already fought Yano. He lost to Cobb. So he's still got a little tough one, including Mox at the end. Like I said, he's still got that tunnel vision.
Yeah, he has a trial by fire because he still has to fight Naito, Jay White, and Moxley. So the hard matches haven't come yet for him.
Yeah, so he's gonna. If anything, this loss will probably put a bigger fire under his ass to like make something happen.
And it's Jeff Cobb. He lost. He's already lost to Jay White and Moxley. So those were his chances to make a big name for himself. The matches were decent at best. I suppose he's not ready for the big times Jeff Cobb is.
Right, and I mean, considering he lost the ROH match as well, it just made it look like he wasn't ready for the big time, right? But this is a match that you could see Cobb winning, right? Like it wasn't like, with Tagachi toss up, Moxley more than not lost, but Juice you could see him beating Juice.
I suppose you're right, but again, just the turn on of Juice Robinson, where he just turned it on this G1, and it kind of makes you think second guess it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Alright, next match on the card, Toriano defeated Jay White in 3 minutes and 4 seconds with a roll-up. Llanos had 2 wins, 1 loss, 4 points. Jay White has had 3 losses, 0 points. Yano Toro is basically having the G1 run of a lifetime.
Exactly. If you had told me at this point that Toro Yano would have more points than Naito, I'd be like, you lost your goddamn mind.
And yet it happened.
And yet it happened. This guy at this point, which was 9-6, was in third place, tied for second place with Juice. Like, think about that. Mox, Juice, Yano. Like, one of those things is not like the other.
DJ, right here.
Oh, without a doubt, not. But it's crazy, but it's not surprising because you could know Yano has it in him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If a match goes over if a Yano match goes over 5 minutes, you know he's not winning.
So the 5-minute mark is the 5 minutes is the bar.
Yes.
Got it.
Or
If the match hits 5:01, it's a wrap. He's losing.
the 1, 2, 3 win to this guy. And
But I just didn't. And Jay White, oh my God! Don't even. Let's not know. We ain't gonna gloss over that. That was your pick,
yeah,
and this guy is just woo. Like they might as well put him in the backyard and get shot, man. They might as well give him the Lassie treatment at this point. It's hard.
yeah,
It's gonna be hard for him.
Yeah, as bad as Naito's doing, and he is doing pretty bad at this point, Jay White's doing worse.
Yeah. Jay White's about to hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting with them too, though.
It's gonna be interesting, how everything's gonna fall into place on the last night. Because, you have Naito, White, shout out to Coleco's son.
I know you heard that one.
We got Juice Robinson and Moxley. And you basically, like you even said, this could easily be a 2-horse race with Robinson and Moxley.
That's what it's looking like.
Yeah.
Unless Yano pulls some more tricks out of his ass.
And if if White or Naito loses any more matches up to this point, it's kind of like over for them.
Pretty much, and that's what I'm saying. It's like three losses, you're in the danger zone.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, when you have an on-fire Moxley like that, yeah, you're absolutely right. Next match in the G1, Hiroki Goto lost to Tetsuya Naito in 6 minutes 1 second to Destino. Goto is at 2 points with 1 win and 2 losses. Naito's at 2 points with 1 win and 2 losses. Kind of seems like Goto's fairy tale comeback kind of went back to the jobber, pretty much.
To me, his run. You remember when Ibushi came back in his first G1?
2 years ago.
Yeah, it feels like that. Like the splashy guy that comes back and he's not doing too well.
I guess.
That's what it seems like to me, because that's the only reason they would even put him in this, because he had the 1 win over White, and after that, I mean, technically that was like his G1 match right there. That was his block winner.
Yeah,
in
it
a
was
sense.
over before it began.
Yeah, and it just seemed like, oh yeah, he got that one. Okay, now you can get your ass kicked by everybody else now.
Should we be calling him Goto or should we be calling him Seigneur La Dojo?
I say Hiroki Shinyo La Doormat because he's getting walked all over this brother.
Ooh. Just when you think you got the answers, Coleco changes the question.
I mean, I'm just saying that's what it's looking like.
Alright.
And next one, the one that we've been waiting for. That was the one. This match is the match that I've been wanting to talk about because this one sets the tone.
Next match in the main event of night 6, Tomohiro Ishii lost to John Moxley in 20 minutes 36 seconds with the Dead Rider. Tomohiro Ishii is at 2 wins, 1 loss, 4 points. Moxley is at 3 wins, 0 losses, and 6 points. So basically, this is Moxley's G1 to win, as we've been discussing. It's no shame losing to Moxley on Ishii's part. Ishii always gives, his all.
True. And I just remember we were talking last week that like we were thinking that if there was one for him to lose. I mean, if there were a couple for him to lose, I was expecting him to lose to Juice. And I was expecting him maybe a Naito. And we were thinking Ishii because, a guy with that hard of a head, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just shows like it to me, like I said at the beginning, like he's running roughshod over this. I mean, it's not like he's winning, but his winning to me is also kind of like I can see him beating Juice. Ishii is like, if he beats Naito, that's when I'll know that basically they're putting Mox over this whole goddamn roster. Because there's no goddamn way that he should be like in his first G1 now. Like, I give Mox props because he was WWE's Iron Man. He was the guy wrestling every night. He was the go-to guy for those main events in those cities. But the style was a lot safer, and the style was, not as taxing on the body. And this guy is just running through it like it's a hot knife with butter.
Daddy, I played the block.
So he's running through. He's running through it, and I'm looking forward to Sunday, which is tomorrow. I'm looking forward to that match because that match. If he wins that match, he's winning the block. I cannot see him losing the block if he beats Naito.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. And I kind of, if Moxley was ever going to lose to anybody, I kind of thought, to suffer his first loss, Master Humbler, Ishii, but it wasn't to be.
Yeah, it was not meant to be. And we were talking about that too. And we were like, that wouldn't be a bad loss. Him losing to Ishii wouldn't be a bad loss. You can see him being a hiccup. But hell no.
Nope. Moxley 3-0 at this point. And that wraps up night 6. We are now on night 7, which took place July 20th. First match of the tournament. We are A block, I might mention.
The A block, yep.
Yeah. Zack Sabre Jr. defeated Bad Luck Fale in 6 minutes 30 seconds with a ring out. This is Zack Sabre's first win in 3 losses. He's at 2 points. Bad Luck Fale is at 1 win, 3 losses, and is at 2 points.
This makes sense.
To show you that how unpredictable this tournament is that Zack Sabre Jr. got his first win on night 7 of the G1. Like, this guy would get, like, his first 4 points in the first 2 nights.
Yeah. To me, it made sense how he won. I give him that because there was no way I was expecting Zack Sabre Jr. to pin Fale. You know what I mean? So I guess that makes sense. But other than that,
Well, two G1s ago, he did actually make Fale tap out.
Yeah, but I mean that's in his wheelhouse though.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna see Zack Sabre Jr. run around. I'm gonna pick this dude up, body slam his ass, pin him. Ain't no way. He's too little.
Sure.
I guess with Fale, I guess that's a way to protect him getting pinned. But considering that, we've seen him get pinned before, I just don't know what they do with Fale, man. He should be a bigger monster than what he is. And I like Fale.
Yeah, I love Fale too.
So I just felt like he should be,
It seemed like they could have did more with him this G1, but maybe, it's the same effect that it's having on guys like Zack Sabre, Jay White, Naito at this point. That, it's just the cards he drew. Alright, next,
Yeah, but I think he's also just the...
Yeah?
But I also think that he's the elephant in the room, too. He's that guy that everybody has to wrestle around rather than adapting to different styles. So, I guess that's a hindrance.
Sure. Alright, next match G1. Hiroshi Tanahashi defeated Lance Archer with a victory roll in 11 minutes and 58 seconds. Tana's at 4 points with 2 wins, 2 losses. Lance Archer is at 4 points with 2 wins and 2 losses. The honeymoon's over with Lance Archer. He's taken his losses now.
Well, considering who he was fighting, ain't no way. But Tanahashi might be down, but he's not that low. Like, they're putting him low, but he's not scraping the barrel. Hell no. They're gonna like Archer's coming up, but he ain't that coming up.
Yeah, if this goes into a Lance Archer, it's like, maybe time to put the boots up.
Yep, time to put the boots up. So, I mean, the John Cena of New Japan is still... with 2 losses, it makes it hard to catch up with them 2 at the top, especially because they're practically... the 2 at the top are essentially double at this point. So...
Not yet. And, everybody knows Okada's going to go down eventually. He always does. He comes out of the gate strong, but he usually crashes at the back end of it. So that's just what I'm waiting for.
That's true.
Alright, next match. Kenta defeated Evil in 15 minutes and 3 seconds with the go to sleep. Kenta's at 4 points. No, he's at 8 points, excuse me.
8 points.
8 points with 4 wins, 0 losses. Evil's 2-2 with 4 points. And I'll start this off by saying, bullshit. You're telling me Kenta defeated Evil?
Yeah, pretty much. And what this tells me is that for me, A Block it looks like it's going to be Kenta versus Okada, and whoever wins that is basically the A Block winner, because they are like, this block is so bottom heavy, and when I say bottom heavy, there's so many people like clawing to get up and we'll put it this way, right? So Kenta at this point's undefeated. Evil, that means that's 2 losses for Evil. Bushi already's taken 2 losses. Tanahashi already taken 2 losses. So it's like he's so head up. They're putting him head and shoulders above everyone in this block. Of course, with Okada, because Okada's the champ. Of course, he's going to be there. But it feels to me that this A block it's not as good as I thought it was going to be, because they got some bottom heavy dudes, man. Like, it's so bottom heavy.
Yeah, and the thing that I wanted to say about this match was I've always, commended New Japan with believability. Like,
Right.
okay, I believe this guy is going to beat this guy. Or if this guy, if he's the underdog, I could believe that he's going to beat this guy. I don't believe Kenta could beat Evil. And that.
In a real fight?
Well, no, not in a real fight. Kayfabe fight. And I think that the crowd in Japan, they haven't gotten behind Kenta either, and I don't think that they believe that Kenta could do it either. Because if you rewatch that match, they are chanting heavy for Evil.
Yeah, but when it comes to the New Japan, the hottest group is Lij. Like, Chaos to me feels like the Wu-Tang Clan, because everybody's in a mother is in that group. Bullet Club was where Lij was, but they lost some heavy hitters and they're having to rebound. So the only constant is Lij, and they already have that inroad with the crowd. So everyone's already connected to those people. That's why I was so big on Sonata winning the block, because I thought it was his time. But at this point, to me, it just shows like, and this is another thing that I'm thinking of. The 2 guys that just left WWE this year are the ones leading the pack in the fucking G1.
Yeah, and
how absurd does that sound right now?
And it's kind of bullshit if you think about it, because okay, Moxley is a huge talent. He's the biggest star since Chris Jericho to come back onto the Indies. Kenta was really a ham and egg on WWE, not really taken too seriously.
I would say he was taken seriously. I just think the injuries, the lack of English gave him a hindrance.
That's so cute.
But to me, he was always big in Japan. He was like the man in Noah. So they knew who he was. But I didn't think that they would come and put a rocket on his ass like this, because he's also a guy that's blowing through people. But I can also see that where it's believable, because while the guys in his block are either dealing with injuries or trying to come up, Kenta had that rest. Like, what, 3 to 4 month rest period? And it's just showing you, like, I can see him winning because he's the fresher guy out of everybody. Right?
Yes.
Like, that's the only way I could wrap my head around it, because you're thinking, what? Bushi with the ankle, Ospreay with the neck, Tanahashi with everything, spinal coming out of his back. And other than that, he took advantage of those guys. And then you got Lance Archer. He's not gonna be like, he was a guy we were looking after anyway, not looking at past bar. Zack Sabre Jr. So that's the only way this makes sense. Like, his body is completely healthy. he was able to have that rest that those guys didn't.
And yeah, that's true. It's just I don't know. I don't think they were ready. I don't think the crowd was ready for this major Kenta comeback.
But I mean, when he first came back, they were like, oh. So they were like, yo, it's either now or never. Because either establish him now or don't establish him at all. But he still got Okada. So
Yeah.
we'll see where it goes from there. Because at this point, A Block is basically, to me, Kento or Okada. It's one of those two.
At this point, that's what it's looking like.
Yeah, because they're head and shoulders above everyone else.
Pretty much.
And whoever wins between Kenta and Okada, to me, is going to win it, because even if Okada takes an L, he still got the tiebreaker.
Yeah, you're right.
2 squares.
Next match on the A block is Kota Ibushi defeated Sonata in 19 minutes 14 seconds with the Kamagoye. Kota Ibushi's at 4 points with 2 wins, 2 losses. Sonata's at 1 win, 3 losses, 2 points. And, you know, we talked about my guy, Jay White. I admit it. Like, you know, he's not doing well. You went with Sonata. He was your guy.
Yeah, he's got more wins than Jay White.
Okay, he has 1 win.
Hey,
win.
that's one more than your boy. That's one more than your boy. Yeah, yeah. Sonata, they cut his rug short before he even got in the damn tournament. Like, I thought he was gonna break through, and just not. That's not what I guess New Japan had other plans, because
it's kind of like Goto, where his G1 ended the first night.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. He's back. And I'm scared. I'm scared what they're gonna do with Okada, boy. He's gonna get ran through. He's gonna get ran through. I don't see him. He's out of it. He's gone. He's not winning this block. Ain't no fucking way.
Well, yeah, he's out of it. But you know, if you got Okada coming up, Okada is suffering maybe a loss to Kenta. He's a little rattled. Maybe you could get the next win over Okada, get that title match you need.
The only way this would justify is if he does get the win over Okada, but he would have to be the first person to beat Okada. I can't. I don't see. You know what I mean?
So you're saying that Okada needs to be that first bump on that downward spiral for Okada.
Right. I mean, that's his only redemption at this point. I mean, that's the only road he has to get to the chip, is by beating Okada. So if I were him, I'd just look at the Okada match and put all my eggs in that basket, because you already know you're not waking the block.
Speaking of Okada, Kazuchika Okada defeated Will Ospreay in 21 minutes and 56 seconds with a Rainmaker. 4 wins, 0 losses, 8 points. Kazuchika Okada. Will Ospreay, 2 points, 1 win, 3 losses. I think this is kind of more on the level of what we thought was going to happen to Will Ospreay.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty much.
Yeah, where he needs to be in this tournament.
Why did he need to be in this tournament? That was because that could have been a Tama Tonga.
Yeah. It could have been Tonga Loa. Tonga Loa looks like $1 million in that ring.
Yeah, I think so, but I feel Tama has that. His personality spits through that camera more so than his brother.
That is absolutely true.
And he was already in it before, and he got to highlight himself as a singles wrestler. But I already know that now I see why they're not in it, because they're going to be fighting the Briscoes. So that's going to be a part 2 right there coming up. So that's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So I see that they're busy with something else. But back to the match, it went the way that we thought it would. I mean, this is practically a part 2 from when they fought.
The
When they were
46th
both.
anniversary.
Yeah, so this is practically a repeat from that match. I mean, the only difference is the title wasn't on the line, or you know what I mean. So
Yeah. And
what else can you
honestly,
use?
I thought the match went 10 minutes too long. Will Ospreay has no business going 21 minutes with Okada. I think they're trying to make chicken salad with chicken shit, and that taste is still a little bit lingering in there. That sandwich.
But this also is like with Okada though too, because he'll get. I can see him being so cocky at this point that he's going to wrestle to the level of who he's going to go against. Like in some matches, he looks outstanding and should be head and shoulders above, and that tells you when he gets into the next match, oh, it should be a cakewalk. And now he's having a tougher time because his cockiness is getting the best of him. So that's just been his persona the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely.
As the Rainmaker.
He could honestly, he could take a L to Toru Yano, and people wouldn't be surprised. Especially
Pretty
the
much.
way he's been doing this 2-1.
Yeah. At this point, like, it's no dispute. He's amongst the top wrestlers on the planet, if not the best wrestler on the planet.
Alright, that was night 7. We are on night 8. Night 8, yeah. It took place on the 24th of July. The first match of the B block was Juice Robinson defeated Toru Yano in 4 minutes and 28 seconds with Pulp Fiction. Juice is at 6 points, 3 wins, 1 loss. Yano's at 4 points with 2 wins, 2 losses. Incredibly entertaining match.
Yes. And there go your 5-minute rule, because he got beat by 30 seconds. You were almost there. You were so close.
Damn it, I can go 30 more seconds.
30 more seconds. You were almost there. But yeah, this was entertaining. And this just shows you that Juice could be entertaining. Like, I don't, it just makes you wonder, like, what could have been if this was like him in NXT, because he was getting to that point and he just broke out on his own. But yeah, this was short, but it was the typical Yano stuff.
I always thought the opposite. I thought Juice Robinson was incredibly entertaining and not that great of a wrestler. But like this past year, honestly, we've kind of saw that Juice Robinson could put all that crazy bullshit aside and actually be a really good wrestler and show what he's capable of. And he's been putting on some pretty good matches against top guys.
That's believable. You're right. Because to me, when he first got to do Japan, he was like the poor man's Dusty Rhodes. He was just trying to shuck and jive and do all this stuff and da 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 da. He got the chip and was like, "Oh my God, I'm the champ." And then he went into his depression phase last year, and getting his ass handed to him in this G1, and he really didn't take it seriously because he was still the champ, barely getting by. You could tell he was okay. Then Mox comes and puts a foot in his ass, and then that's the end of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can say that. Yeah, he's really improved, and like I said, he's right now he's just trying to keep pace to where if he beats Mox, he's B block winner. If he keeps going,
And yeah, he's shown like a more serious side to him, but having him have an entertaining match with Goto and kind of go back to that silliness it's a good sign that he could, do both sides of the coin.
True, and this also just shows that the schedule gods were in his favor because he follows his loss with Toro Yano. So so it's very interesting, like how that works, right? Like you're like, oh my god, he still got so, and now he's got Toro Yano as his next match. You're like, oh yeah, he's okay. He'll be fine.
Are you telling me that Juice Robinson prayed to the patron saint of matchmaking, Gedo?
Yes. He better have, because shit, it could have been worse. Could have been Juice lost. Next thing you know, he's fighting Naito.
Sure. It's happened before.
Shit's happened. So, yeah.
Next match, Hiroki Goto lost, I repeat, lost to Taichi in 12 minutes 11 seconds to a Taichi style Gedo clutch. Goto is at 2 points, 1 win, 3 losses. Taichi's at 2 wins, 2 losses, and 4 points. Yeah. Stick a fork in him. He's done. Goto.
Oh yeah, Goto's done. Yeah, he's done. That's a wrap, folks.
That's all,
Man,
folks.
it's just crazy that Taichi is in the middle of the pack, yo. Like, it's crazy to me. If you had told me Taichi was in the middle of the pack, him, Toro, hell no. But somehow, some way, there they are.
No, if you told me that Taichi was actually in the G1, I would have said you lost your mind.
That is facts. But you have to put Taichi in if you're going to put Will Ospreay in the motherfucker. So, hell. Shit, Taichi got every right when they said Will Ospreay. Like, shit, watch me.
You know what?
But
At least he was cordial enough to go on the Marty Skull donut diet, and Will Ospreay didn't.
And that's the downfall. That's the downfall. That's the downfall of Will Ospreay. The donut diet.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, I'll buy it.
You know, I've been on that donut diet. It's incredibly hard, and I got incredibly sick.
Ugh. You know what? I would try it one time. I'll try it one time for the one time. I got a Krispy Kreme around here. I think I can do it.
Yeah, you're going to have a problem if you do it with Krispy Kremes. They are incredibly filling. I think I got 3, maybe 4, 3.5 donuts down in one sitting.
I can get more than that, my man. Especially with when that hot and fresh is on. Woo, woo.
Is this a challenge? Are you challenging me to a donut eating contest, Coleco?
Why not? I mean, WWE do stupid stuff like rap battles. Why can't we do a fucking donut eating contest?
TJ.
Alright. Well, I don't have a Krispy Kreme next to me, but I will be going to Krispy Kreme. I will make that journey to a Krispy Kreme near me, and we will have that donut match very, very soon.
It's on.
Yeah.
It's on.
Stay tuned. Next match, John Moxley defeated Shingo Takagi in 14 minutes 45 seconds with the Texas Cloverleaf. Moxley at 8 points with 4 wins, 0 losses. Shingo Takagi at 4 points with 2 wins, 2 losses. Honestly, match of the B block at this point. I thought this was a incredible match.
me personally, I think this showed Mox's, because if you notice, all of his matches have always been like this hardcore style. Like it's almost like his CZW roots. I feel like Tagachi got him to actually wrestle.
Yeah.
For the first time in this tournament, and that's a good thing because it just shows not only that he can, it just shows a variety of, hey, I can wrestle along with these guys too, because everything's just been like brawly for Mox. But with this win, it's his to lose, man. Like, Jesus.
And they beat the hell out of each other. Like, these two guys, like, you had to know that they knew each other. The way that they were wailing on each other, they beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah. And it's a good showcase. I mean, I guess if Takachi's going to lose, why not lose to this guy? I mean, but once again, it makes that roster, it makes that side look bad, yo. It makes that side look bad.
Agree to disagree, but I do feel that, Moxley making Shingo tap out was kind of a little disappointing. Just never seen Shingo tap out before.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I didn't have any problem with the match. Other than it told a good story.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, after night 8, in the top of the standings, you have, for the people at home, basically, to me, it's a 4-man race at this point, with Kenta and Okada in Block A, Moxley and Juice in Block B, although Block B seems to be the more leader of the pack, or the middle of the pack can come up and win it.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the pack, you have Taichi and Yano. Just think about that, yo, with Jay White hanging at the bottom. Like, I thought, I going into this tournament, I thought Jay White wasn't going to win the block, but I thought he would at least get 10. Boy. Whew. And Sonata, don't even get me started. So, both our picks are shitty at this point. Two WWE guys are on top of the standings or tied for the top of the standings in each block. And you can make the argument 3 WWE guys with Juice. So
I wouldn't put Juice in that category. He was an NXT guy before NXT got on TV. I wouldn't count it.
I count it. He was with the company. Kenta didn't do that much, but we count Kenta.
Well, then at that point, you could call Kenny Omega a WWE guy.
Yeah, that is true. He is a WWE guy. People don't want to claim it, but he got a check, motherfucker. He got a check.
The WWE logo on it.
Yeah. Shit. Everybody here at WWE got bullshit. You got a check. He may not got big, but he got a check, damn it.
He might have not been big, but you bet that check was big.
Exactly. He's a legend at the bank. He's like the legend at the bank. That's for sure.
Yeah. Forget the applause of the crowd and the gratitude. The people at the bank applaud him.
Exactly. Standing ovation.
Woo, there's Kenny. We love you, Kenny.
There he is.
Kenny.
Coming out the tunnel, like coming in the bank, like he's coming out of the tunnel of an NBA game. He's like, woo.
Yeah, and then after he's done, goodbye and good night. Bang. Or boing.
Bang.
Boing.
Or cha-ching.
Cha-ching. Yeah, that's better. And Yeah, you said that, Moxley's leading the block, but, he hasn't fought Yano yet. And if Yano gets that pin on him, Yano could win the block.
That is true. Who would have thought that? If Yano beats Mox, boy, just think about this. You mean to tell me Ishii couldn't beat him? And that would be assuming that Naito couldn't beat him. Tagachi couldn't beat him. But Toro Yano beats him? Ooh, the internet be on fire.
It's a possibility. It could happen.
Oh, it definitely could happen. I don't see it happening, but it could definitely happen. But we can make it. I mean,
eventually.
Yeah, he has to. So how about this then? We'll see. I think his first loss is going to be Juice. I don't see him losing to anybody else except Juice.
Hey, if he's gonna take his first L, I feel like I'm beating the dead horse at this point. I said, hey, his first loss is gonna be against Ishii. His first loss is gonna be against Shingo. Oh, it's his first loss. It don't get any better than having your first loss against Tetsuya Naito. He's the biggest star of New Japan. It would make sense.
We said that the last 3 weeks.
I know why I said Coleco.
We're gonna okay. You stick with your pick. I'm picking Juice. I think it's Juice is gonna be the one.
And you know what? Next week when we do the show and he's ran through Naito, I'll say, you know what? Taichi will be the first one to beat him. It makes sense.
We'll say Toro Yano. It makes sense that Toro Yano beats Moxley. I'm just saying it's gonna be interesting. That's to say the least. But
Yeah. All right, let's get back to the tournament. Jeff Cobb lost to Jay White in 15 minutes and 50 seconds with a Blade Runner. Cobb's at 2 points with 1 win, 3 losses. Jay White's at 2 points with 1 win, 3 losses. Jay White has the equivalent points to Sonata. So all guys are on equal footing at this point.
Basically, you just have to bet who places better between the two, because that's basically where they are.
Is that what we're betting now? Whose guy did the less crappy?
Yeah, whose guy gets the most points? Because at this point, it's a wrap for both of them personally. But it is confusing to see Juice slip to Cobb, who slips to White, who's been winless. So, that's that roller coaster, bro. Like,
very unpredictable.
That's the unpredictability. You're like, oh shit, Juice is on fire. Wait a minute, he loses to Jeff Cobb? Well, maybe Cobb's gonna do something. And Cobb loses to a winless Jay White. You're like, wow, okay.
Yeah. But that's what I saw. That's what I picked beforehand. Was Jay White versus Jeff Cobb, going with Jay White. It made sense to me.
I mean, they're not. I knew that Cobb wasn't gonna have a big showing, considering that he's more of the ROH guy than the New Japan guy. Hell, we were surprised he even got in.
Yeah.
So we weren't expecting much.
But
it's almost
like Elgin's place. If Taichi got in.
Yeah. Shit. I want to know what the criteria was to get in this year, because God, can you read? Yes. All right, you're in. Like, no. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck?
You have to do basically
like Oprah. You get into G1. You get into G1, and you get into G1.
Naito said the exact same thing. He said, I would like to know what is the criteria to getting into the G1. He basically said that in an interview. Apparently, there's a G1
we've never went through that. There's no G There's no G1 qualifying matches, none of that shit.
No.
Just
There's
pick,
a hypothetical
we
G1
know.
board.
I mean, I would think one criteria would be you have had to at least won a G1. Because god damn it, if you ain't won one, Jesus. But I can't say like this field doesn't have a lot of former winners. Like when you
No.
think about it, though. I mean, Goto won one before.
Naito. Okada.
Naito, Okada,
Tana's won a bunch.
Tanahashi. Yeah, so yeah, it's not like a lot of winners. So you would think it would feel more open than what it is now, because it seems like it's locked on 4 guys.
Yeah.
Already. But at least the B block looks more open than the A block, I would say.
You're absolutely right about that. B block's always been more unpredictable than A block. At least the last 2-3 years have been, anyway.
Yeah, I give you that. Yep.
And,
especially when they had that block with Okada and Omega. Woo! 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 That was an awesome block.
Just getting back to Jeff Cobb, the only guy that I really saw him beating in the whole G1 was Ishii. To get that Never Openweight Championship match, and then his tournament would be kind of over, but he would at least had a title match.
Right.
That didn't happen, and now it's just kind of he's the jobber. He basically took Michael Elgin's spot of the big jobber.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, yeah, he did take Elgin's spot.
Yeah, but Elgin is a little bit more talented than Jeff Cobb at this point.
But Elgin was also a former Intercontinental Champion at that point.
True, but wrestling has always been what have you done lately, and what he had done lately was win the Never Openweight Championship and then lose it a week later.
True. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, unless you're like a big star, they don't treat the Gaijins really, really well.
No.
And I would say Kenny Omega's the exception because he essentially immersed himself in the culture.
And Moxley at this point.
And Moxley at this point because, well, hell, he's the latest free agent buzz guy on the scene. So.
Alright, let's get to the last match of the block. Tomohiro Ishii lost to Tetsuya Naito in 18 minutes 58 seconds with a Destino. Ishii's at 4 points with 2 wins, 2 losses. Naito's at 4 points with 2 wins, 2 losses. If Naito wins the next match against Moxley, he'll be at 6. Moxley will be at 8.
Juice will be at 6.
He might be back in the game in this. And like even he said, I had a really disappointing G1 as of now, but this is the path that I'm going to take to get to the finals and win it.
Yeah, he got no choice because we've been talking about him the whole time. Like, bro, you started out with 2 buys and you lost it, and it's almost like the cockiness got with him too. Like, because you know how he is, tranquilo, asenayo, and he was a little bit too tranquilo in those first 2 matches. So
he was Coleco. Coke and rum time.
Hey, he was on me rum and coke time. You're damn right. and he just shot the bed. But I like this Naito. Like it puts a fire in his ass, and he already knows he has a tough sledding, which I guess is good for him because hell, at this point, it's no days off. At this point. Your two came and went, fam. I mean, the only one I can see him beating Cobb. I think that's the only one he's got left that seems beatable.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Because he's still got Mox, Robinson, Tagachi.
Yeah.
and so he can't slip. The third loss, he's done.
Oh, without a doubt. That's the death sentence for him.
Which, in fact, his biggest test is tomorrow evening against Moxley. So that tells us his future is literally on the line.
Well, technically, the match already happened. It was at 3 o'clock this morning, right? But I haven't watched it, and you haven't watched it. I'll be watching it later tonight.
Yeah, same here. So
yeah, I could stay up until 3 o'clock in the morning, but that's my bedtime. So I can't.
I know I was that idiot staying up to 3 in the morning, and then I was like, "Fuck this! I could just wake up and watch it." What the
It's
fuck
on
am I
demand,
doing?
Coleco. It's there when you get up.
Hey, this was like before New Japan World. You just kind of got stuck in that habit, right? Like,
Yeah, I guess
Jesus,
so.
got stuck in the habit.
Just touching on the match. Fantastic. It's the match you expect to have with Naito and Ishii.
Yeah,
Ishii always beats the living hell out of Naito. So for Naito to finally turn it on, maybe it was the wake up call he needed.
yeah, and I think like they had a sequence, and if I remembered it right, I remember it was like Ishii tried a power bomb, Naito countered, and then Ishii tried to like clothesline, and Naito like countered that with an Insagiri. Then Naito tried to do a drop kick, and that got missed. And Ishii did a suplex, and Naito hit the DDT. And yeah, it was a crazy match. Like that sequence was really really nice. But that just shows they know each other. They Chaos versus Lij. That can't get more than that. They're basically the Hatfield and McCoys at this point.
Oh, without a doubt. It's all when Ishii is fighting Naito, it's gonna be a great match.
Oh yeah, but I think Ishii versus anybody is a great match. He's a steady hand. Win, loss, or draw, he's always a steady hand.
Yeah, you have a point there. Yeah, you're right. Alright, and that should do it for all G1 coverage. We will have more next week. That's our whole summer is G1 coverage.
Yeah, yeah, and I will say this has been the most upside down one I've seen since, and that's a good thing though, because they're kind of making stars with Kenta and
Moxley.
Moxley is a star, but they're just building off of that.
Yeah.
But they're also making Juice into this serious guy that not taking shit. So that's a good thing for him as well.
Hopefully, it will carry over after the G1 because that's where shit happens.
Yeah, that's where that shit happens. After the G1, heading towards Wrestle Kingdom, that's where we'll see what's gonna happen. But I'm expecting him to get one over on Mox so they could do it one more time.
Yeah. All right. Now we are shifting gears and we are wrestling with Raw Reunion. It took place in Tampa, Florida, and the first segment out, John Cena came out. Kind of disappointing he was in Thugonomics Cena, but I guess what can you do? He is still the face of the company.
I mean, they gave you Thugonomics at WrestleMania. What more do you want?
True, but it seems like Thugonomics Cena gets more pop. Then the Usos came out and, was teasing John Cena wanting to have a rap battle with him. And then Cena gave it to him. referring to that they look like their mugshots and asked if they were arrested recently, which is kind of funny considering that Jimmy Uso just got arrested yesterday.
Oh God, I love Jimmy though, man. I'm gonna stick with my man to the end. And for those at home who don't know, Jimmy is the reason I got engaged. If you look at the TLC pay per view, that age, him and his wife, my wife right now. So hell, if it wasn't for them, this kid, I'm like, goddamn thing. But back to this segment. Ironic how like entertainment becomes reality in the span of days. If anything, I blame John Cena for that. It's his fault. He should have gotten the shot in the first place. But
he turned to walk into a suit.
Exactly, I blame him. But anywho's, I mean, that's a good way to start off. Why not start off with the guy who's been carrying the company for the last decade and a half? So shit, why wouldn't you?
Yep. The Usos with Rikishi, their daddy came out to help them. Didn't really do anything, but he came out. Defeated the Revival with Devon Dudley, who kind of seems naked without Bubba at this point. But, he was backstage, he was producing matches. They gave him camouflage gear and they said, go out there and do something.
Yeah, I mean, Bubba Ray turned it down, so I'm surprised on that one. But it was cool to have, to make that connection between the Usos and Rikishi. So because a lot of people probably don't even know, other than like watching the Hall of Fame, the casual fan probably don't know. So, and they're closer cousins of Roman Reigns than The Rock, but people don't think that far. But oh well.
Sure. All right. Charlie Caruso interviewed R-Truth and Carmella. During the interview, Drake Mavericks pinned R-Truth to win the 24/7 title and ran away, starting basically the dread in the whole arc of the show that kept me coming back during every commercial break.
Yeah, because can we just say R-Truth is a national treasure at this point?
Oh, without that.
Him and Drake Maverick that took a title that looks more like the WBC boxing championship and made it the most entertaining thing in Raw. Like, it's crazy how, like, and it's just funny because and it's funny because people were like shitting on this title, but it's basically the hardcore rules title without the hardcore part.
Yeah.
And the way that they did this, it was like the way that it threaded throughout the whole night. It was just perfect, totally perfect.
Later on, Drew McIntyre was supposed to wrestle Cedric Alexander. Drew McIntyre just beat the hell out of him. Match never happened. Nothing really to discuss further about that.
I mean, that's just to keep him relevant. Keep him occupied because SummerSlam's coming up. They're starting to pair their partners for the ball, and he still ain't got a partner for the ball.
Next thing that happened on the show, Drake Mavericks ran into the Boogeyman and fell flat on his ass, which gave Pat Patterson opening to put his foot on him and pin him for his first run with the 24/7 title. I think this match was a lot better than the one in Rio de Janeiro. What do you think?
I mean, at least he wrestled. I mean, at least he wrestled. I mean, Rio de Janeiro, man. I mean, there's no. Show me the tapes. Where are the tapes? I got the network. Where are the tapes?
He was like, I'm a person that take Maverick on the floor like a douchebag. I pinned him.
The one that I told at 3.
I'm the champion. Yahoo! That was Mario now.
But yep, Pat Patterson is a champ at this time, which is fun. It's funny.
I think he's the
like
oldest guy to win the belt at this point.
Practically.
Yeah.
I wonder if R-Truth, by the time he wins this title, he's gonna break Ric Flair's championship record. I'm just saying, like, yo, they need to recognize that.
Next up, the Viking Raiders defeated Zack Ryder and Carl Hawkins in 2 minutes and 35 seconds. I mean, nothing really to talk about that.
Squash. Which is funny because you would have thought Ryder and Hawkins, considering they were former tag champions, would give them a better fight, but guess it wasn't meant to be.
No, they're back to jobbing. Next segment, Maria Kanellis yelled at Mike Kanellis in the backstage area in front of all the legends. After she left and stormed off, Ron Simmons showed up, took Jimmy Hart's megaphone, and said the one famous word that he's known for.
Damn.
Next
I feel like
up,
I didn't do that.
AJ Styles spoke with Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows. They talked about their new OC shorts, which is just a play on the OG Bullet Club. At this point, they're basically trolling New Japan, right?
I got into that with the guy the other day. Because the one thing that I was thinking about, because it was funny, we were talking about original members of the club and founders of the club. And it was funny because they were saying, oh my God, New Japan has the better one. And I'm like, other than Tama and Fale, that's all they got from that OG side. Because as far as like the initial formation of the Bullet Club, I mean, technically it's 50-50 at this point. Because you got Finn and Carl, Fale and Tama. So I'm like, yo, just let it go. They both have it, but I would say that WWE got the bigger stars out of them. Even though Carl Anderson is more known as a tag wrestler. But I think his legacy was set.
Yeah, true, but he's the second member of Bullet Clubs, and he was the leader at one point in the club's history. So,
right, and that's my point. They got at least 3 leaders when you think of AJ, and when you put AJ in it, AJ, Finn, and Carl. Tama Tonga, as much as I like him, no one really considered him the leader per se.
Yeah.
Hell, Kenny was the leader. So I mean, with their their record of leaders, they don't have that many, but there's only 4 that I can think of.
And I'm gonna stretch here. Adam Cole was a member of Bullet Club and was kind of technically the Ring of Honor branch leader of Bullet Club, if you want to count that.
Yeah, but Adam Cole was more sided with the Young Bucks, kind of like how Kenny sided with the Young Bucks, right? Like they were their own little thing.
Yeah.
When Kenny knocked out, because Cole got kicked out, but they didn't get kicked out how
he didn't get kicked out, he got murdered.
That's what I'm saying. like the way Kenny got the way Kenny got taken out, the way AJ got taken out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't as grand as those
True.
to me.
But he was a member of Bullet Club.
Oh, yeah, he was, but no one thinks of when you think of Bullet Club, Adam Cole is way down the list, buddy.
True. Yeah. All right. Next segment. Pat Patterson lost to Gerald Briscoe the 24/7 title. Briscoe ran away, ran into Kelly. She low blowed him and rolled him up and pinned him for the first ever female 24/7 champion. Gerald Briscoe
All,
is 72 years old.
and that's probably the shortest reign ever.
No, I think
Short.
Jinder Mahal held it for 16 seconds.
I mean, he's up there. Shit, he's up there.
Sure.
And Kelly, first one, of course.
Yeah. You know
And
that.
she's gonna be in the hall. If she's gonna be in the Hall of Fame, and just letting the people know, get ready. If she's not in already, she'll be there.
Oh, without a doubt. They love themselves some Kelly.
Oh, they love themselves some tall blondes.
Roman Reigns defeated Samoa Joe in 5 minutes and 40 seconds. I feel like they're just, giving this.
I
This
know.
would be a main
I know how
event.
you feel about Joe. I know. That's why I know how you feel about Joe. That's all right. I know how I feel about Joe. So.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing with that guy, man.
It seems like it's always stop and start with him, in all honesty.
But I will say this though. I always tell people this too, because they're like, "Oh my God, how come these heels don't have like crazy runs with the title?" And I always say this: it's like WWE since like 1984. It's always been a face company where like the face is the top guy, the baby face is the guys who always wins in the end.
It's a babyface territory.
It is. I mean, there are exceptions, like maybe Yokozuna when he had his little run. But since '84, it ain't been that many heels that had like lengthy runs. Even when you think of CM Punk's reign, like he was a face that turned heel. You see what I'm saying?
True.
Like he wasn't a heel the whole
It was a year
time.
range, over a year range. So
Right. So like you don't really see heels with the title for like years or a year.
yeah.
That's that. You know what I mean? At best, 6 months. At best.
Next
But
segment.
back to Joe.
Yep.
But back to Joe, he's got to go.
He needs. They need to give him. They need to give him the belt by now. I mean, honestly, give him the run. Give him the opportunity. Next,
Well, Smackville's happening right as we speak, so never know.
yeah. Next match, segment. Sami Zayn complained about all the legends being there for Rory. Excuse me. Complained about all of the legends being there, and Rey Mysterio told them you need to respect your elders. And Kurt Angle came out and made a match, even though he's not technically general manager anymore. After that, Kelly showed up.
The general manager, go figure.
Yeah, Kelly showed up at backstage and talked to Candice Marcel, Naomi, and Melina. Candice Marcel rolled Kelly up, and Melina made the pin. And Candice Michelle is now the second woman to win the 24/7 championship. And in all honesty, I did not know that that was Candice Michelle until she did the dance. She looks completely
Facts.
different.
She's changed.
Yeah.
Totally different. Yeah. Like, who the hell is this person pinning? Oh, it's Candice Michelle. Oh, okay.
Yeah. A little later,
But what I like is what happened after.
Alundra Blaze showed up, put a chokehold on Candice Michelle. She tapped out, and I think that's actually the first submission win of the 24/7 title. Took the belt and said she wouldn't be holding it for long. Ominous.
Shout out to Alundra Blaze, man. Choking chicks out to get the title. And she's having like a little feud with another independent wrestler by the name of Allison Kay.
Is she
And
now?
if y'all don't know, yeah, they kind of been going back and forth on Twitter. So I'm expecting like a blow off because Allison Kay is the current Shimmer and NWA Women's Champion. So something's gonna come to head between those two.
Maybe in the next NWA show. Yeah.
Of course.
Rey Mysterio defeated Sami Zayn in 5 minutes. During the match, Zayn tried to leave, but Sergeant Slaughter, the Hurricane, RVD, and Kurt Angle came out. I think RVD was the most surprising of the four guys. Nonetheless, great to see RVD. He's one of my favorites.
I mean, he's the most surprising considering he signed with Impact.
Yeah. Hey,
I wonder how that went over.
If you think about, no, they said that it was okay. He had their blessing to go. But if you think about it, they contacted guys from AEW, JR, Ring of Honor, Bully Ray, and Impact Wrestling, RVD. Why wouldn't you want one of your guys on WWE TV? You know what I mean? Was Impact Wrestling the smartest out of all three companies at this point?
You could make the argument. I mean, because it gets a guy that you're signed with exposure. Now, only if he did a product plug, then it would have been a different story. But I think Bully Ray, he's more. I mean, he runs ROH at this point. Like, so of course he's not going to turn on ROH. JR, I mean, he was just let go, so I think the feeling's still a little sour there. So
you think there's a little bit of heat there?
I wouldn't say a little bit of heat, but I just feel like. Remember when we were saying like JR was kind of like a little past his prime on the matches and stuff?
Yeah.
And it's like Vince has a touch on, as much as people give him shit, he has a touch on like when it's time to cut bait on people.
True.
Which it seems harsh, but shit, that's the business.
But again, it's one of your guys on their TV. It's a big exposure because you're on their TV and you're like, oh, what is this guy doing? Oh, he's on AEW now, or he's on Ring of Honor now. It's just good for their business.
Only if like the wrestler. Yeah, if the wrestler shows like follows through with that, like, oh yeah, you saw me on Raw, now see me on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not a lot of people do that. So.
Good. All right. Next up, Alundra Blaze came out to the commentary desk with the 24/7 title and took out a trash can. Which is kind of crazy if you think about it.
Yeah, Oh yeah, she was about to go back. Old school right there.
Yeah, She wasn't dealing with that heat. She was fine with taking that heat if that happened. Then Ted DiBiase came out,
Hey, you know,
and Ted was like,
oh yeah. I mean, she's done it before,
yeah.
so they like it out of her wheelhouse.
Ted DiBiase came out, gave her a wad of cash, and she gave him the belt in return. I suppose that's considered a title change because he was considered the champion at one point. Next match, Seth Rollins.
Yeah, which is weird because if they consider this as an exchange as a championship, they don't. I was just about to say they consider that a change, but they don't consider but they don't WWF after, which is weird. But whatever.
Yeah, WWE rationality. Seth Rollins defeated U.S. champion Styles with Luke Gallows and Cole Anderson with a DQ in 8 minutes and 4 seconds. DX came out afterwards and with the NWO, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash, and they all beat up on AJ Styles and Anderson and Gallows and saying like, "No, we're the originals. You guys are the you guys are the fakes." Trolling Bullet Club even more at this point.
Yeah.
Like they're just pissing. They're doing this intentionally to piss off fans, right?
In a sense, but if you notice that the segment was out of style, is because or out of sync, it's because I read that segment was supposed to be for Ricochet,
Yeah, but
Ricochet was hurt,
yeah,
and go figure. Timing. I tell you these things. Timing. Go figure. Because I'm like, what does Seth Rollins against the OG Bullet Club? Like, don't he has a title match to get ready for at SummerSlam? Like, what the fuck is he doing? You know what I mean?
yeah. It's
So
just putting a square into a circle-shaped hole at this point.
pretty.
Yeah.
Yep.
After that happened, Ted DiBiase jumped into his limo. I love how we're just going through all the changes of following the 24/7 title.
Hey, it's the hottest title in the business right now.
Yeah. Ted DiBiase jumped into the limo, closed the door. Then you heard 1, 2, 3. Drake Mavericks emerged as the new 24/7 champion. As he celebrated, his wife, Michelle, got into the limo and was telling him, like, come on, come on. Then R-Truth rolled him up, got the pin, jumped into the limo with his wife in it, and rolled away. The best part of this is that Mavericks was my baby, and then
Yes.
pause, my wife.
Exactly. It is funny because he's like, still hasn't consummated. It's funny because he's complaining about that he hasn't heard from his wife. And it's like marriage still not consummated. So he's like, it's carrying it on. It's so funny, like the way that it's just hilarious. It's funny. Like I said, this shit, people shitted on this, and it's like the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. Mick Foley came out, cut a promo, got hit by Sister Abigail by the Bray Wyatt Fiend. Any thoughts on that? I didn't think it really did anything for Bray Wyatt.
I think this just shows like, uh, first of all, the Fiend. When I think of the Fiend, where I'm from, The only type of fiends we know are crack fiends. So, they need to get rid of that word. Just saying. Because it sounds like you're a crackhead, but to me. And
He might
that's
well be a crackhead, Coleco.
you never know. In anything can happen in the WWE. But with this, I guess it's just to show that anyone can get it. It doesn't matter who it is. Like legend, woman, man, I'm assuming. So
I don't see the.
I mean, it's just something to keep because he's on TV, so you got to keep that consistency now at this point.
I suppose. Becky Lynch came on a moment of bliss. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross never really got to ask her anything. Natalia came out and they exchanged words before they brawled.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's given. I'm telling you, man. You know what's funny? If they do a Montreal screw job at SummerSlam this year, would not put it past their asses. I'm just saying. I don't put that past their ass.
Yeah.
Because Natty is going to be looked at as the hometown hero at this point. And the way that they've been jabberjawing back and forth, it's just like Natty's going to get hella heat walking in there.
Honestly, I just see it being even though it's in Canada, it's a jobber match, in my opinion.
I don't think so. I think this is probably if I don't see them giving Natty the hometown discount at this point, just to like squash it.
No.
I'm not saying she's gonna win, but I'm not saying that it's gonna be like a squash.
I'll ask you this. Do you think Natalia is going to continue the rivalry with Becky Lynch after SummerSlam?
Yes. And the reason being is because Lacey, other than Lacey, who else is like a top contender?
Alright. Well, if she does, then maybe it wasn't a complete waste. And if she does, then I was right and she was just a jobber for Becky.
Yeah, you never know.
Next up, Braun Strowman defeated Randy Lowe in 40 seconds. What's your favorite vegetable, Coleco?
Squash.
Time for the main event. It chose to Monday Night Raw.
It's a not main event at this point, but
Yeah, no. Randy Lowe, main event at Monday Night Raw. He could always say that. Something
hey, James Ellsworth. I know him and James Ellsworth got something in common.
Yeah. Ric Flair entered with his music and he posed on the stage, and everybody else that was in the night came out with him. Then Hulk Hogan came out, got a big pop as always, and cut a promo about how he loves Monday Night Raw and what you're gonna do when Raw Reunion runs wild on you, and the whole shebang.
Yep.
Then Stone Cold Steve Austin's music hit, and the crowd fucking exploded. I don't think I've heard this loud of reaction for a super long time, especially on TV.
I have. But the problem was, it was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, exactly.
If you when I went to WrestleMania 32, the pop in that building was fucking unbelievable. If you thought 20,000 people losing their shit was crazy, 100,000 people losing their shit was like unworldly. I couldn't even hear myself talk. That's how crazy that was. In Texas boy in Texas. But it just shows you like
people say Hogan's like Hogan saved wrestling. Austin took it to another level. And he just showed you he still got it, man.
I get to go back to Hogan made Mr. McMahon a millionaire. Stone Cold made McMahon a billionaire.
True. True words never been spoken.
And in all honesty, Stone Cold didn't say a lot, didn't say anything really relevant to anything that's going on with WWE at this point. And he had everybody hanging on his words. Hell, I'll admit it, he had me hanging on all his words. Everything he was saying, I was like, what? What?
I mean, he rarely comes out, so that's the good thing about it. Like, it's like when he left, he stayed gone, and when he pops up, you know it's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not like how the Undertaker is now, but you know, it's the opposite of the Undertaker. Leave and then come back, and but to me, yeah, he's the shit. He's the man.
Yep. If anybody in current WWE gets that kind of reaction, they need to push that son of a bitch to the moon, because honestly, there's never not going to be another Stone Cold, but there could be somebody as popular, but I don't think we're anywhere near the ballpark of finding that guy.
Like I said, I don't think it's going to be anybody, period. I just think it's going to be a buffet style of popular wrestlers that all are at the top. And you notice it because when you see, like, you remember, like, when WrestleMania posters used to pop out, right?
Yeah.
And you remember when, like, let's just take it like Austin Rock, right? When Austin Rock was wrestling at WrestleMania, on that poster, you saw only Austin Rock in the Houston Dome, whatever it is now.
Right.
Now you look at the posters now, and like I said, and you can tell just by looking at the posters. The posters are no longer just one main person for these big four. It's just a collection of people. Like SummerSlam, they got like Brock, Roman, Becky Lynch, you know what I mean, AJ Styles. They got like just a row of people. It's no longer, and that's what I was saying. Like, that's a prime example of the shift that I'm trying to portray. Like, you could put Austin Hogan on a poster, and you knew, or Austin Rock rather, and you knew that hell, it's WrestleMania. Now it's more or less a big collection of people. Hey, I like this guy, or I like this girl, and the company or the event itself is the headliner.
But don't you think, even in today's WWE, that if one guy does reach that Stone Cold status with the fans, that they're not going to push him as the main? Because if the fans the fans essentially will have to make this guy, and then the company just has to go with him.
Well, I can say this: the closest guy that got to that was Daniel Bryan.
That's true.
I would say Daniel Bryan and CM Punk were probably the two closest guys to get to that point, and they were still far off.
Oh yeah. Do you think that Kevin Mitch was saying last week, like, they're kind to copy and paste Stone Cold to Kevin Owens. Do you think Kevin Owens can make it?
He won't get it to Stone Cold's level, but he'll get somewhere. And I think it's because of the fact that his size, the fact that he looks regular. He looks like a regular guy. So I think that helps him a lot, because it's different and it's different that Roman Reigns fighting the system than a Kevin Owens fighting the system, because you got Roman Reigns, this big chiseled guy, good looking guy, fighting the system, or the guy that more people can relate to, an overweight guy who works his ass off. Yeah, you can relate to the overweight guy more because,
Yeah.
let's face it, America's an obese country. But that's
Speaking of,
but there's a human
speaking
element that Kevin Owens can, and plus he's a better talker. So yeah.
speaking of obese, me and Coleco, Donut War 1 coming soon.
Exactly. I just saw that 30 for 30 with the hot dog wars. That shit was crazy. I think cops had to come in on donut eating, hot dog eating contests. Like, that shit was great. Yo, why the cops here? Like, the fuck?
Yeah, I could probably maybe eat like 3 hot dogs, depending on what's on them.
Oh man, nah. You got. I would say, me watching, like, there's this guy Kobayashi. Like, he's like the New Japan of eating donuts, and then all of a sudden comes this guy named Joey Chestnut who turns into the Hulk Hogan of donut eating contests.
Oh yeah, he could eat like 70 hot dogs.
Yeah, and they just go, and that's with buns. I'm like, hell no, nah,
Yeah.
I'm done.
It's the breads that gets you, Coleco.
Yeah, it's always the bread.
Yeah. Damn it.
Fuck carbs.
And with that will do our show tonight. I don't think we're gonna get better than fuck carbs. So
Yeah.
if you like the show, please like, subscribe, comment. If you like what we're doing, please tell friends about it. Comment. Please give us a thumbs up. It takes literally 1 second. I did it right there. I did it right now. I just put the thumbs up on a YouTube video. Oh.
And if you don't, I'm inclined to believe that you are a hater, in the words of my man Bomani.
Yeah, and if you do hate the show, please don't give us a thumbs down. Tweet Coleco at where can they tweet you?
And I am Coleco. Yeah, man. I mean, what good is disliking a show if you're not gonna, like, don't come with problems if you ain't part of the solution, damn it.
Well said, Coleco. Well said. Yeah, if you don't like the show, Coleco will rip you a new one and tell you why you should like it, damn it.
I might. I just might.
Yeah, exactly. And you could reach Mitch Mayhem at Mitch Mayhem X. I don't know if he'll actually respond because he might be dead again. We don't know. You know, he shouldn't go on these benders in Roppongi.
I'm telling you. Yeah. He's going to pop up at the next AEW event. I'm just going to call him AEW Mitch.
That should do it for this week's show. For my co-host Coleco Yachts, I am James J. And this has been Wrestling Wit. Entertainment.